If you had told me many years ago of all the things that would get to a trilogy, it would be Pitch Perfect, I really wouldn't have believed you. But here we are, Pitch Perfect 3, the grand finale of the Pitch Perfect films. I'm guessing it's the finale. I mean, it's advertised as, like, the farewell tour. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the target demographic for these films, but I thought the original Pitch Perfect was pretty good. I really didn't like Pitch Perfect 2 that much, but, so I had mixed feelings going into this one, so I might as well just get on to my thoughts about the film. Of course, the strongest aspect in this film, like in the previous two films, is the music, which is still pretty good. These Pitch Perfect films definitely make being in a cappella groups a lot cooler than I'd expect it to be, and those are definitely my favorite parts, are all the different performances and just the music that they perform throughout, whether it be, performances on stage or when they do these riff-offs, which there's a severe lack of in this film. There's not really, like, a lot of, like, riff-offs in this, which I thought was kind of irritating. Because there are a couple other groups in this film besides the Bellas, because they're trying to, they reunite to get in this competition to battle to open up for DJ Khaled while they do all these different tour stops for the military USO tour thing. And, I mean, there are a couple groups, but there's not really, like, they don't really get a lot of development other than Ruby Rose's group, pretty much just because it has Ruby Rose in it. That's pretty much the only reason you're going to know which one's the one that, that group is. Because other than, like, one big scene where they all, like, sing in it together, like, in different stages, like, most of the other groups just kind of get thrown away, like they don't exist anymore, even though this is supposed to be a competition. Moving on to the cast, though, I mean, pretty much all of them did a pretty good job, in the returning roles. Especially Anna Kendrick, Brittany Snow, Rebel Wilson, Hailee Steinfeld. Rebel Wilson actually was my favorite in this movie. I was really surprised by that. Rebel Wilson's always been one of my favorite things about these movies is Fat Amy, but I think this is probably her best performance out of the three films, because they give her a lot more to do. I mean, she actually has a lot of hilarious scenes. She has a lot of character development, actually. Like, she's probably, like, the second most developed character in this film, other than Anna Kendrick's character. And she does actually a lot of physical comedy, too, like you wouldn't expect her to do. But as much as I enjoyed the performances and the music in this film, I do have a good amount of gripes for this movie as well. There's just so many side stories going on in this film that really go nowhere. Like, Brittany Snow kind of has, like, this flirty relationship with one of the soldiers in the film that are, like, protecting them. And it goes nowhere. And let's see, Lily also has a little, like, romancy kind of thing that, with the DJ, the hip-hop, group's DJ. That doesn't get brought up at all after, like, one or two scenes that they have in the beginning of the film. And they wrote Jesse out of the movie, so they had to get Anna Kendrick a new love interest. And it's not really, like, a love interest, per se. Like, they kind of, like, obviously, like, have interest in each other, but it also goes nowhere. Like, they really don't act like it's, like, a romance. And this negative for me might seem kind of controversial, but I really didn't think John Michael Higgins or Elizabeth Banks really needed to be in this movie. It just felt really forced. Like, the only reason why they're even in this movie is because they're making, like, a documentary on the Bellas, and they kind of just, like, follow them on their adventures that they're doing, with this USO tour. So, so they make funny comments along the way. Don't get me wrong, they are funny, but, like, they really didn't need to be in this movie. It just seemed kind of unnecessary, but that's just my take. One final thing that did kind of bother me is there's, like, a stretch that's towards the end of the film that really didn't feel like it was meant to be in a Pitch Perfect film. It looked like it was more meant for an action film, to be honest. It just felt like so out of place compared to everything you've seen in the other two films, and this one included. And it's just like, it was weird. It was like you'll see what I mean. I'm not going to, like, talk about it too much more, but yeah, it's pretty weird. But anyway, moving on to my score for the film, I'd have to give Pitch Perfect 3 a C+. I'd say this is a pretty satisfactory finale for this trilogy of films. If this does end up being the last film that they do, I'd say it's a satisfactory ending. It has some good humor, some good music, and if you're a fan of Pitch Perfect, you definitely have to go check this one out, so I do somewhat recommend it. They're just not these films aren't really for me, so I'm not going to act like they are. But anyway, thank you for checking out my review of Pitch Perfect. Feel free to leave a like, comment, your thoughts on the film, if you've seen it, or if you plan on seeing it. Hit that subscribe button. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.